did you cope with this emotional and physical impact of your diagnosis and the treatment? How was it?
My husband and I were told to abstain, and we did. Um, we didn't hide the fact that I tested positive to cancer. We immediately called a friend in the US. He sent some drugs and some supplements, and he told us to follow strictly whatever the team was telling us, and we should not go spiritual, that even if we want to pray and fast, that we should follow everything the team told us. Then I was stigmatized. Of course I was. The woman who invited me to the first screening where I wasn't screened told everyone on the street that my vagina is smelling. And then a few people who live on our street were at the health center when I was not diagnosed. So I lost everything in that provision shop to stigma.
Like I said, it was an eye opener. With myself and my sister had just heard about the possibility of being screened and getting the cryotherapy, which we did immediately. And we have a circle of friends. So we just took it up and we're telling our friends about it. There was nothing like stigma. They were all people that we felt, if the lady who died from cervical cancer, in fact, she was a consultant pediatrician with a leading government hospital in Nigeria. So if such a person could die from cervical cancer, that was enough to shock anybody out of any other thing they could have been thinking. If it could happen to that woman, it could happen to anybody else. So we went ahead, told our friends, and as many as could came in to do the screening.
What was the major motivation for you to get the HPV vaccine?
So my major motivation to get the vaccine was my mom. When she found out about it, she came to my school actually and consulted the school health department, the clinic, and made provisions for me to get vaccinated. When I heard about it first, I was very skeptical. I'd never heard of the HPV disease before. I never even knew there was a virus to combat the disease. And I was quite scared because I felt that I was too young at that time to get cancer. I was like, how can I get cancer? I'm still too young. Like, I'm 12 years old. I was 12 in 2017. I was like, how can I get cancer? I'm just 12. And I think that's a problem that many people face right now.
How do you get diagnosed? Like, how do a person get diagnosed with, yes, an average person? Because you might be having it, but the doctors or the hospital is just giving you antibiotics for that. So where do we go to get diagnosed or screened for this?
We have an NGO that carry out screening. But that doesn't mean that there are no diagnosing centers that carry out cervical screening. Based on my little knowledge, I need to explain the difference between the two types of screening that can be carried out to find out the presence of the virus. There is VIA screening, visual inspection with acetic acid. That is the preliminary screening that can actually tell whether or not the virus is present. And it is cheap. That is the one NGOs do for people, either at a very subsidized rate or for free. And then there is pap smear.
Did you experience pressure from your peer group? Since you've had the vaccine, then you can go about experimenting things with boys.
When I talked to my friends about it, everybody was like skeptical. It was like a forbidden topic, kind of like nobody wanted to talk about it or bring about that kind of conversation. It was seen as awkward and weird. So nobody encouraged me or said you should go ahead and engage in sexual activities or anything. It was seen as like a weird topic to even begin with. So nobody wanted to cross that line or that boundary at that point in time. Because I was just like, I was 12 at that time.